You don't represent yourself, do you? You
No.
represent the people of Edo South.
Yes.
And those people were well aware of the fact that the Labour Party was not in presidential office and was not the ruling party when they voted you in, but they still voted for you. What right do you have to transfer their votes to a party they didn't vote for?
Well, that's the explanation I was just giving you. First of all, those who voted for me were not necessarily only Labour Party people. APC, PDP, those who don't affiliate themselves to any political party.
No, but they know you were in the Labour Party and they voted for you.
And the Labour Party, all of them voted for me. Like you know, everything is dynamic. And every politics is local. Take it back to my state, even national. The Labour Party that we're speaking about is not what it used to be. The Labour Party that people voted for me to represent is no longer the Labour Party that they voted for. There's a shift in that understanding, and there's a shift in the mentality and in the manifesto, whatever it is, of that Labour Party. This Labour Party that has emerged now is so fraught with so much problem, and it appears that no one is willing or able to solve this problem. And you find yourself in a situation where you don't even know what to do. We were involved, I was involved from the very beginning to see if we can find any way out of this problem that Labour Party is facing. But nobody wants to yield. Everybody is holding fast to their positions.
So basically...
And now we have more than 2 or about 3 chairmen of the party.
Right, so you could have stayed in the Labour Party and advocated for change and reforms and tried to de-escalate the tension, but you decided that...
No, that's correct.
It was just too much.
That's correct. As like I said before, our constitution do not recognize independent party. So, I mean, independent candidacy. So, asking me to stay in a house where there's fire is asking me to actually have myself burnt politically.
But are you prepared to live with the possible consequences of your defection? Because some would say that, would ask you whether it was the smart thing for you to do from the point of view of not only political principles, but even from the legal point of view. Because many people, including constitutional lawyers, say that you should lose your seat as a result of this defection. I mean, how significant a legal and constitutional question is it for you?
I don't believe in that, because...
Well, it's not a matter of belief, it's a matter of what the law is.
The law says that if there is such a division in your party from the top, and it poses such a situation where you can no longer operate within that party, and you are free to go. And that's exactly what just happened. But let me quickly tell you.
Yeah, but you didn't have to join the APC, did you? I mean, you could have joined any other party.
Such as?
Well, I don't know. There's the SDP, there's the ADC, there's a whole slew of others.
Again, I said all politics is local. If you come to my state, Edo State,
right,
you can only talk about 3 parties.
APC, PDP, and Labour.
And Labour. That's it. Any other political parties, you are just a one-man stand.
Well, you may well have an argument there, but during the election campaign in 2023, you accused the APC of mismanaging the affairs of this country. You talked about insecurity, rising food prices, failing infrastructure, etc. You said Peter Obi was the only one capable of remedying Nigeria's worsening situation, and that neither Tinubu nor Atiku could do this. And on the strength of that conviction that you presented to the people of Edo South, they voted you into office.
No, I didn't say Tinubu, because Tinubu was not in power. The person who was there then...
No, but you were competing against Tinubu. You were not competing against Muhammadu Buhari.
But the president who was in power then was not Tinubu.
Yeah, but the person who was
Tinubu had not emerged.
the person Tinubu,
now that Tinubu has emerged,
the person Peter Obi was fighting against was Tinubu, not Muhammadu
yeah,
Buhari.
But it was based on the trajectory of APC before that period, which was headed by another president. I was not satisfied with that president and with that government. I've said that and I'll continue to say that. But when Tinubu came on board, of course, Tinubu had not ruled the country. Now that he's in the saddle and we're able to see what he's doing, his mindset in trying to solve the problems that he met on ground, of course my opinion will change.
But you do know...
What is changing also,
right,
on the background of the fact that Peter Obi that we just mentioned, had not even had the opportunity to be there. The party which he leads is in shambles.
Yeah, but
I even wonder on what platform he's going to run.
Yeah, but I'm also wondering on what basis you're saying that you decided to move to the APC based on what you see President Tinubu doing. A lot of people in this country, including your constituents, I'm talking about run-of-the-mill people who are, you go and talk to them on the streets, they'll say to you that their lives are worse now than it was during Buhari's time. I mean, prices are higher, fuel costs are higher, there is no measurable change that they can point to and say that things are better.
Charles,
they will say to you, and I'm sure they've said that to you, that things are worse.
Charles, I would not agree with you that there are no measurable changes, because there are.
No, the measure of change.
Yes, as far as the living standards.
That person on the street.
Well, the person on the street that I represent, whether I'm in Labour Party or in APC, I will continue to represent that person or those persons, my district. It doesn't matter the platform.
Yeah, but they might think that you've compromised the principles they believed you had and for which they voted you in.
No, my principle will not change, because my principle, what is my principle? To effectively represent my people. That is basically my principle. And how do I represent people from the standpoint of weakness? Right now, like I said before, Labour Party is not standing as a viable party. The people that I represent, when I look again and see how do I better represent these people, do I do so in a position in such a manner that I'm so weak? Or can I do so in a situation where I am now, where I can effectively represent them? So for me, it's about the people mostly.
Well, for a lot of people, they will say, and I don't know whether that's you in particular, but they'll say that a lot of the defecting politicians, it's not about the people, it's about them. Wasn't there an attempt because you're talking about your constituents, wasn't there an attempt by them to recall you a few months ago, citing your alleged failure to represent their interests and saying that your tenure has been marred by corruption and gross betrayal of public interest? And even the Labour Party as well demanded your recall for backing the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan.
I thought I was waiting for you. I was waiting
accusing you,
that.
Let me just make the point, yes. Accusing you of being the willing tool used to perpetuate what they say was injustice on Senator Uduaghan.
Okay, I was waiting for you to mention that.
Right.
When you said people start to say they want to recall me, it's not because of my ineffectiveness, it was because of that saga.
Yeah, but that's not what they said.
But that's what it is. That's what you don't know. That's what I'm telling, that's what it is. And these individuals they're talking about now, have they not calmed down? Are they still talking about it? The answer is no. And again, I would have gone into the Natasha issue, but as you know, the court has actually asked us not to discuss that matter because it's still before it.
Well, there's a way you can skirt around that issue. Let me tell you how I think you can, okay. and you can tell me whether. I expect I know what your answer is going to be, okay. But